Hey gang, Professor Feeser here. I provide education solutions to large groups and organizations. If you're searching for a training solution for your team or your enterprise, feel free to reach out. My contact info is at the end of this video. In today's lesson, we are going to load an execution environment into Ansible Automation Platform. This is going to be a pretty fast video. There isn't much to it. We're going to start off in an image repository. And if you didn't know it, actually GitHub has an image repository. It's called the GitHub Container Registry, if you're going to use it to push containers to. And I've already done that. I've created one called AWS EE. I also have one called Poke EE out here. I already loaded AWS EE, so let's load Poke EE into Ansible Automation Platform. Step one is just looking at the image, right? I built this with Ansible Builder and pushed it up here. There's the collection or the actual repository it connects to. I'm going to take this path because that's all I need. And I'm going over to my instance of AAP. In AAP, there's two places I could store this. I could store it in Automation Hub. That would be like effectively another image repository. I'd be moving it from GitHub into the image repository that is Automation Hub. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to load it right into Controller. Controller runs playbooks. If I immediately wanted to be able to use this particular execution environment, you load it into here, you assign it to an organization, and you can run a playbook against it. Create execution environment. It's going to say, what's the name? You know, being organized here is key, right? So I'm just going to use the same name as where it came from. I don't want to get cute with this. Image, exact same name. Pull option, always pull before running, only pull the image if not present, never pull the container before running. I guess stop and think about, is it important to always have the latest? How large is this container you're pulling? I mean, potentially lots of network bandwidth could get chewed up if you're always pulling a container and don't really need to pull it each time. Description, EE from GitHub. GitHub Container Registry.io. Organization, we assign it to some group. Registry credential, out on GitHub, you must have a token set up with pool permissions, specifically to your registry, or this won't work. So you go into settings on your GitHub account, developer settings, create a classic or fine-grained token, and give it permissions for container registry for this to work. I already have that built out. GitHub Container Registry.io. Again, maybe a lesson for another video. I didn't want to make this about credentials per se. And we create execution environment. That may or may not immediately pull it. It might wait until in fact, I think it does wait until you actually use it to pull it in use with a job. But if we go and set up a job template, you're going to see that under execution environment, I now have the ability to load in that Poke EE, and as long as the credentials are right, and as long as it's a working execution environment, playbook will run fine with it. Wow, gang, that was awesome. Effectively, loading an execution environment into Automation Controller is an entry. Get the pathway right. Make sure that the execution environment itself works, and you won't have any problems injecting a playbook into that execution environment and running it with this AAP framework. Gang, I hope this video was helpful to you. If it was, hit like on the video, hit subscribe on my channel. I'll see you on the next episode of Code with Feeser.